You mentioned the European Union. You could cite that as a great example of how a constitution leads to an expansion of the state. And yet the history of wanting to unite Europe was a liberal dream. It was a desire to increase liberty.
The initial idea was, of course, to erect a free trade zone, but a free trade zone only requires two sentences. Whatever you want to ship out, you ship out. Whatever you want to import, you can import. But that has almost from the very beginning of the European Union been forgotten, and instead the attempt has been to harmonize the tax and regulation structure in all of Europe. That has not been accomplished completely. There still exists no free trade in Europe. If you watch German TV, for instance, they have constantly reports that the German border control has again arrested a few people who were smuggling cigarettes that are taxed less in Poland to Germany, despite the ultimate goal. We want to have free trade. There is a skiing region in Austria that borders onto Italy, and you can ski down one side of the hill, you are in Italy, and you ski down the other side of the hill, then you are in Austria. And even in that ski resort, they had also the Austrian TV reported with great pride about great accomplishments of the Austrian border controls, having arrested again a few people who had bought a few liters alcohol too much in Italy and smuggled it over to Austria, and vice versa. So the whole thing has very little to do with free trade. And as far as the euro was concerned, it had always been my conviction, I have also written on this, that the purpose of that was to weaken, in particular, the German mark, because the euro would be, of course, more inflationary than the German mark had been. The German mark had always been some sort of obstacle for other countries to inflate as much as they really desire to inflate. That had nothing to do with specific German virtues, but it has something to do with the fact that Germany had experienced the hyperinflations twice, and the German public was a little bit more sensitive towards inflation, so the German Bundesbank was a little bit more reluctant to follow the general inflationary trend that all central banks naturally.
How fragile do you think the EU is today? Do you think it could blow up and revert back to its old nationalist schemes?
I hope it would happen, but and I'm always amazed with how much the Germans are putting up, because the Germans are the main financiers of the southern European countries. So if the cycle is, so to speak, that the crisis broke out in the periphery, and the Germans have to pay the bills for it. When we had the conference 2 years ago in Salamanca, and we were driving from Madrid to Salamanca on beautiful new expressways with very little traffic. I remember then Jesus Huerta de Soto told me, look, you guys have financed all of this for us. If you drive on German expressways, they are somewhat in far less good shape than the Spanish expressways are. And the Germans so far don't seem to rebel against it.
But the sovereign debt crisis could make the difference.
Could make the difference. So, yes, Greece is in worse shape, Spain is in worse shape, Italy is in worse shape than Germany, but Germany is also in pretty bad shape and will get increasingly in worse shape given the fact that they have to bail out these other places. Eventually, there might be a rebellion of the German public against this. But the Germans, of course, suffer from this problem that they have a special history and feel eternally guilty and are not allowed to rebel.